Yeah, I got on my coat. Sorry, y'all. I came on outside this morning. But good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope everybody waking up this morning feeling good this morning. For those of y'all that know me, I am Brother Conscious. I'm conscious. For those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. All right? Give me 1 second, y'all. Gotta grab something. Yep, but I'm conscious. For those of y'all that don't know me. And today, we're going to talk about you're stronger than you think, or what you're giving yourself credit for. Don't allow anybody, don't allow nobody to tear you down. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, this topic came to me today because of the simple fact that God has spoken to me this morning and told me that there's somebody who's going to get on this live this morning and is feeling right now like they're not strong enough to get through anything that they're going through. There's somebody that's going to get on this live this morning who feel like they don't have enough hope. So God gave me this topic this morning to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it. Those of y'all that know me know I only get on here when God touched me with something. And I was touched this morning when I was asleep. I don't know why God told me to do it. I'm just doing what I'm told. That's it. You know, I don't really do these lives like that. But I told my wife, let me take over today because God told me to talk about something. So she said, okay, I'll let you take over, honey. Cool. So I'm on here. So let me tell y'all something. We all go through situations. We all have our problems. We all have our ups and downs. In life, certain circumstances in our lives or certain things that we've been through in our lives force us to have a certain mentality about something or forces us to think a certain type of way, such as maybe you grew up in a home where you had parents who always argued. Parents, maybe when your parents argued, they said negative things to each other that tore each other down. So every time they got tore down, when you around your parents and you see your parents sometimes, they don't look happy. They look depressed or they look upset. Or sometimes when you try to get attention, they don't give you enough attention. So when they're not giving you enough attention, it starts to make you feel like you are not enough because the first people or the first person who you feel like is supposed to love you more than anybody didn't give you enough love, so you feel torn down. So as you continue to grow and the years continue to go by, maybe your parents done divorced, they in two different spaces. Yeah, they raised you, but it's like the love in between. It's like you feel like you get more love from this parent than this parent, or you feel like you get more love from one parent, like I said, one parent than the other, or you feel like you don't get enough love from both parents, right? And then that situation adapts to your mind frame where it changes you. So your mentality changes. For other people, you can grow up in a abusive home. Maybe you was in situations where you were go, this is old. Go put it on charger and bring it back to me when it's charged. I got you. Bring back the charger over there. It's on the table. Or maybe you feel like, you want to join? You want to join me or you want to go with Drew? You want to go with your brother? Okay, go ahead. I got kids, y'all. Y'all know how it is when you got kids, but I'm a father first. But like I said, or maybe you grew up in an abusive home where you suffered abuse or somebody that was close to you suffered abuse and you had to fight a lot. So you feel like, oh, you always overprotected and you're so overprotected within yourself that you, give me a second, y'all. 1 second. I'll be right back. Andrew, take this. Thank you for giving me that second so I can do what I need to do as a father. Appreciate y'all. But I'm back again. Like I said before, or maybe you grew up in an abusive home. Some of y'all had brothers and sisters that y'all had to protect, because you grew up your whole life having to protect someone. You have a protective shield around you. So that protective shield not only has anger around it, but it also has you feeling like you always gotta be so defensive. So when it comes down to how you apply your mind frame to those who you around, or when it comes down to applying your mind frame to even trying to find love or anything, you're such a defensive person. You don't know how to be in tune with your feelings because all you ever know is being defensive and overprotective. Because that's how your mentality is. So when you have that type of mentality, sometimes instead of it strengthening you, it really can crumble you inside. It can really destroy who you are as a person, because you're so busy being defensive, or like I said before in the beginning about being out of tune with your feelings because of the fact of what you grew up watching, what your parents go through. You're so out of tune with that it starts to make you feel like on the inside you don't know who you are. You have this defensive shield, but you have no feelings. So when you don't have no feelings, it's hard to be able to maneuver through life and to be happy. You don't know how to be happy. Happiness doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist. Instead, you're walking through life just going through it. And that's just called an instinct. That's an instinct. For those of y'all who don't know it, for those of y'all who understand where I'm coming from, that's an instinct. Like myself, for example, I grew up in the streets. I came up, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I started off in the streets and at a young age, and then as I came in my 20s, I got deeper and deeper in. So, like I said, I had a defensive shield myself. I had a defensive shield. So I started to maneuver into a point where I was so focused on being defensive, I couldn't show too much emotion. I couldn't show too much emotion because it would allow somebody to get to me. I had that type of emotion. And when it came down to people that cared about me, when it came down to people that loved me, I was always on defense at all times. All times. And that destroyed me because I didn't know how to love nobody. I didn't know how to care about nobody. I didn't know how to do anything. All I knew how to do was be heartless. That ain't the way that you want to be. That ain't the way you want to go. Give me a second, y'all. Hmm? Okay, but you have to share the phone, buddy. You gotta share it, okay? Nah, put that note. I'm talking about the phone in the room. Mm. All right, I'm back. The phone is on the charger in the room on the table. All right, y'all. So I'm back. I'm back. So like I said before, some of y'all went through situations in life that might have put y'all, through a lot. But understand this. Don't allow whatever you went through or whatever your situation was growing up to determine who you are, because you're stronger than you giving yourself credit for. You're stronger than you think that you really are. Understand, you're going to go through situations, but there's ways out of those situations. I stand with you. I stand with you because at one point in time, I was going through that. At one point in time, I was in them shoes. I stand with you and I understand. But like I said, there's ways out of that. Different ways out of that. You don't always have to have a defensive shield up. It's okay for you to love. It's okay for you to want to be happy. It's okay for you to want to live life and do different things. It's okay for you to want to be a better person, but you have to want that first. That's the first step. One of the first steps is you have to admit that you know that you're not happy. You have to admit that you know that you're not happy. If you don't admit that you're not happy, then then it's gonna be hard. You have to admit the journey has to start some way. A lot of us, we just go through life and we just think, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm good, I got this, and I'm all right, I'm all right on my own, I'm cool, I'm this, that, third. But that's not always that's not, that's not true. You know that ain't factual. You know that there's more to your situation than what you're adding on. You understand that, you know that. There's nothing wrong with admitting something, okay? Understand this. God is the center of the foundation. Okay? You have to be willing to open up to God. It's not your fault that you ain't opened up to God yet. Some of us wasn't taught how to open up to God. Some of us didn't even understand how to open up to God. That's why people like me were blessed to be able to come on this live to talk to you today. Because in the end of the day, I want you to know it's okay to talk to God. Because God hears everything. He hears your prayers. He hears what you have to say. He feels your pain. God knows you better than anybody else will know you, because God created you and put you here. And when you were put here for a reason. A lot of different like I said, a lot of different things, even as in our excuse me for a second, I'm trying to fix this shit. A lot of different things, even in our years now, is causing us to feel like we're not strong enough. You going through a lot. You carrying a lot of weight. You're paying bills, you barely getting by. You dealing with problems, whether it's family members, you're losing family members left to right. Maybe you going through it with your family, getting into it with them. Maybe and somebody tell you when you walking, you ain't the best looking. You know what I'm saying? It's different scenarios and different situations that cause you to feel like you might not be good enough even till this day. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. God put a paintbrush on us every day. God put a paintbrush on us from the time we came into this world. You are a work of art. Don't let nobody tell you that you ain't beautiful. Men, don't never let nobody tell you that you ugly. You know what I'm saying? We're alive on everything. You gotta stand up with strength. You gotta feel like, men, we are kings. Feel like that you are a king. You are a king. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. You stand up with honor. Put your muscles up. Ladies, you are beautiful. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care how you look. Women, you are beautiful. You're more better than what anybody gives you credit for. So don't allow nobody to sit there and tell you that you're not, because you are. You're way more better than what anybody tell you. You're wonderful. You just have to believe it. In order to believe it, in order to know that, in order to believe that, in order to know that, you have to be willing to understand that. And one of the first things that you want to do, like I said, is one of the biggest things that you want to do, like I said, is reaching out to God. Reaching out to God, talking to God, and knowing that God can help you with knowing anything that you want to know, knowing that God can see you through any situation that you want to get through. You have to be willing to reach out to the God, because He is the healer. God can heal your soul because God gave you the soul. God gave you the breath that you have in your body. God gave you the looks that you have. God made you the way that He made you for a certain type of reason. You're different. You look different, and you apply your mind frame differently for a certain reason. I told y'all a couple times before while I've been on these lives. You are put in this world for a different purpose. So you're made differently for a different reason. Okay? So you have to be willing to trust God no matter what. I understand how it is to go through, feeling like you ain't good enough. I know how that is. I know how that is, but you don't have to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it comes with a lot, man. It comes with depression. It comes with anger. It comes with hatred. It comes with destruction. It comes with crazy thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And then that leads to coping mechanisms as well. Maybe you ain't never smoked weed before, you ain't did this before, you ain't did that. I can't stress this to y'all enough. Coping mechanisms, I don't knock nobody for how they gotta get through their situations. I'm not here to judge nobody. I've been there. I've been in the darkness before. But let me tell you, it leads to coping mechanism, and coping mechanisms does not solve your problems. It only temporarily gets rid of the issue. But them issues and them problems or them insecurities or whatever you have on your mind, it's still gonna be there when it's all said and done. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change because you're moving in the wrong direction. Moving in the wrong direction. Okay? I remember, let me tell y'all, I remember when I first woke up from out of the coma, when I came back and I was reborn. When I woke up, I didn't look the same. Okay? I was real skinny. I'm talking about real skinny. I'm talking about I was like 100 and I don't know, like maybe 100 pounds or 110. I don't know. I was real skinny. I didn't like the way I looked at first in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When I woke up out that coma. But God had made it so that I could be reborn. He made me another way. But I didn't like the way I looked. So I was like, man, when I get out and when I get back out of here, I'm like, how am I supposed to be a rapper? Or how am I supposed to be me? Or how am I supposed to even look at my children? I don't even look the same. Who? I'm like, who gonna like the way I look? I don't even like the way I look. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm just confused. But see, God made me that way. He brought me out of that coma reborn because he had a different plan for me. He knew that he wanted me to be different. Even my voice right now, I didn't never talk like this. Anybody that know me in real life, some of y'all don't know me in real life, but people that do know me, actually know me personally, know I never really talk like this. And I had a hard time embracing it. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of patience, a lot of prayer for me to understand the new me that God wanted me to be. And I embraced that with time because I was able to attune myself with God and get a better relationship with God. And I built myself up. And I love me some me now. I love the way I am, regardless, because this is what God wanted me to be. This is who God wanted me to be. It's the same for you. Like I said, everybody is made differently. We all go through different types of circumstances. We all go through different types of situations. But you do not have to allow those situations that you go through or those circumstances that you've been through in your life to determine who you're going to be or to determine who you are. Because in the end of the day, you're better than what you believe you are, or you're better than what you thought you are, or you're better than what anybody ever told you you was. A lot of us, see, we go through life and we just want to be accepted so bad. People want to be accepted by this person. They want to be loved by this person. They want this, that, the third. But they forget about the main factor. They forget about what's mostly important. What's more important than anything, I can't stress this to y'all enough, is loving yourself more than anything else. You have to love yourself first. If you do not love yourself first, then you're going to go through your whole entire life looking for acceptance. You're going to go through your whole entire life trying to be somebody that you're not. You're going to go through, and while you're going through that, you're going to keep on doing it because you don't feel like you're good enough. So you're constantly looking for validation from other people. That could be in relationships. You might get into a relationship and you might know this person bad for you. You might know they treat you bad. You might know that they don't care about you. But because they keep you close to them, you stay in it because you don't feel like you're good enough for something better. I'm just speaking facts. I'm just giving it to y'all verbal. This is only what God's telling me to tell y'all today. You might feel like you don't deserve something better, but you do deserve better. You do deserve better. I'm not just talking to the women. Like I said, when I'm speaking right now, I'm talking to men and women. Men, You might be in a relationship with a woman who you treat who you keep trying to treat good and everything, but she don't appreciate what you're doing for her. And you know that she don't appreciate what you're doing for her. She constantly talk down on you. She might be seeing other men. She might not appreciate you or tell you that you're good enough and this, that, the third, put you down, whatever the situation is. And you staying in that relationship because you feel like that person keeps you close. But no, you deserve better than that. Men, we're kings. You deserve better than that. You deserve to be happy too. Family man, when it comes down to family, sometimes y'all get around family members. You always gotta go into the function with the flies outfit on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the most money when you walk in the door. You gotta be the one who wanna buy the bottles for everybody. Do this and that, the third or whatever, because you're looking for validation from your family members to tell you like, oh yeah, we love so and so, we love y'all. Yeah, well, every time they come around, yeah, that's the best cousin ever, or that's the best nephew, or that's the best niece, and blah blah blah. Whatever the situation is with your family members, they saying you the best person in the family because you're always the one to come around and do something. But you're only doing those things because of the fact that you're looking for validation. Because all growing up, you always felt like you wasn't good enough for the family, or growing up, you always felt like you wasn't good enough person. When you get around your family members, you gotta be that person. You got the spotlight, gotta be on you. This men and women again I'm talking to. But no, you don't have to do that. If your family cannot accept you as you are, then you don't need to be around your family members. If they're not gonna accept you as you are. You should only want to deal with the ones who accept you as you for you. You should only want to deal with the ones who know you for you and see you for you. That's what's most important, is being around somebody who appreciates you for you, being around somebody who knows you for you. That's what's most important. Sometimes when you go to your job, you overwork yourself. You work so hard to the point that you ain't got no strength left in your body. You be taking extra hours at work sometimes, and you know you don't need the money. We all could use extra money. I mean, survival is survival. I ain't against surviving, but some of y'all make more than enough money at y'all jobs. Y'all done put in overtime already. Now you trying to put in more overtime at work. Why? Because you don't want to go home and be alone. As long as you're staying busy, as long as you're working, you constantly got to keep your mind off of the biggest battle that's inside, which is, like I said, not feeling like you're not good enough. I'm just being honest. Like I said, I'm not telling y'all nothing that I haven't experienced. I've been there. I'm speaking from experience as well. I've been there. I know how that feels. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You are bigger than what you're giving yourself credit for. Way bigger than what you're giving yourself credit for. You are good enough. You don't have to constantly keep stressing overtime. If you work more than enough overtime, you know you got enough money, the bills taken care of, you still got extra money in your pocket, don't overstrain yourself. Because if you overstrain yourself and something happens to you and you're gone, your boss ain't gonna care, your job ain't gonna care. They gonna find somebody else to replace you, and they gonna go on with their lives while your family gotta mourn you and some more. It's not worth it. When it comes down to your friends, careful who the friends you choose. That's another situation out here. People looking for validation from friends. You always, every time you hang out with your friend, you gotta always be the person that's saying this and doing that and doing this and doing that. You always gotta be the spotlight, like I said, about family. Spotlight always gotta be on you. No, your friends can accept you for you. Your friends can't be there for you when you need them. If your friends can't keep it real with you, them ain't your real friends. You need to change your circle. You really need to change up your circle. And when I say change up your circle, I'm talking about cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Change who you dealing with, who you want around you, who you tell your business to, all that. Because they don't really care about you. When it comes down to being stronger, you have to change your mind frame. That's one of the biggest steps. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to tell yourself, you have to say, I know I'm good enough. You gotta say, I know I'm strong. You gotta be willing to let yourself know that you're better than what you're giving yourself credit for. That's how it all starts. Another step that you need to take when you're going through this is you also need to do some self-reflecting. Reflect back on what caused you to start in the first place feeling like you wasn't good enough. Like I said, we all grow up in different circumstances, in different situations. Everybody has a life. Everybody that's on this earth right now embrace this thing called life. Okay? And as you embrace that thing called life, no matter how old you are, I don't care if you in your 20s. I don't care if you I don't care if you in your 30s. You know what I'm saying? We all have embraced this thing called life. But throughout the years that you grew up, something somewhere in between them years of growing up had caused you to feel like you're not good enough, or had caused you to tear down your self-pride, or had caused you to do different things to try to cope with life instead of being focused in life. Certain circumstances have made you that way. So the only way to break them circumstances, the only way to change your way of thinking is to go back and try to figure out how it all started from the beginning. Yes, I understand. Sometimes when you gotta take that trip and go back, it could be hard. It is hard because we don't. Nobody knows what that circumstance might be. People, like I said, different people embrace different circumstances. Some circumstances not as bad, and some circumstances are bad, real bad. So some people don't want to go back and have to think about those things. But let me tell you, this is why it's important to allow God into your heart. This is why that's very important, because God knows you better than anybody. God knows you more than you know yourself. God understands your pain. He feels your pain. He knows it. God is a only person who can sit there, help you to go through something and overcome it. Help you to become a better person. Put you in better positions and better situations in life instead of being stuck in one. He did it for me. So why do you think? So what makes you think he can't do it for you? I'm a living testimony of what I'm speaking of. I'm somebody that's been down. I'm talking about when I say down, I'm talking about in the darkness. I was so far in the dark that I was doing different things to cope. Smoking marijuana on the regular. I'm talking about I was buying a lot of marijuana. I was buying heavy amounts of marijuana. I ain't even gonna go into that, but that was one of my coping mechanisms right there. We're not talking about by the weekly or the month. I'm talking about on a daily. Okay. Then on top of me doing that, I was messing around, having sex with different women, doing whatever I thought could keep my mind off of thinking about what I was going through, or doing whatever I could to feel like I was good enough. I had my different issues. Then I would get into fights and some more. I had my different issues of different things that I was doing just to try to feel like I was good enough until God brought me out of that. But I was stuck in the darkness for a long time. And it took me a long time to realize like I'm better than what I thought I was. It took me a long time to realize I am good enough to walk through life. I am good enough to be a different person. I don't have to live this way. I could be me and be happy with who I am. It doesn't matter what I've done in my life. It's never too late to change. It doesn't matter what I've been through in my life. It's never too late to be a better person. I had to acknowledge that. And like I said, that darkness, when you're in the darkness, it's not easy to climb out the darkness. I had to reach out to God. The same person who was always telling me, I got a bigger plan for you. I had to really reach out to God and cry out to him. And I had to tell God, like, I'm ready to change. I'm ready. I didn't wait until the last minute to change. I didn't sit there and wait until I'm on my deathbed or none of that. I had to tell God I'm ready to change. And when God heard that, he started giving me validation. God started to walk with me. It wasn't an easy journey. He had to walk with me. It took time. I had my battles. I still had my days where I was still doing this, still doing that. But I slowly but surely was walking away from that with time, because God was walking and got with me and guiding my footsteps. I've said this before, and I can't stress this to y'all enough on these lives. It says it in the Bible. I will walk with you. I will never forsake you. I will always walk with you and guide your footsteps, as long as you put your trust in me. And that's what God did for me. And I was able to become a better person. Okay, and I have became a better person over time. Yes, I still have my days where I go through this and I think about that, but I'm in a better situation in life. I'm in a better position in life than where I was about a year ago or a year and a half ago. God did that for me. So, like I said, when I'm talking to y'all and I'm telling y'all this, I'm speaking through my testimony. If God can do it for me, God can do it for you. You just have to be willing to talk to him, open up your heart to him, and allow him to do that for you. If you allow him to do that for you, then you'll be fine. You just got to open up and allow him to do it. You got to be willing to. Don't never sit around and feel like you're not good enough. The time is now. Some of us, the thing about it is, the time is now. Some of y'all wait until it's too late to want to change and become a better person. Some of y'all do. Y'all go through this, y'all go through that, y'all go through this, and then when something happens in your life, or you get into a situation where your life where you have a scare in life, or you get in a situation where you're fighting for your life, or you get in a situation where you don't have no more time left. Like I told you about that clock, tick, 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 tick. That battery run out at a certain point. You get to a situation where you don't have no more time left. Then you want to say, oh, God, this, and I want to change, or I ain't get to do this, or I ain't get to do that, or I want to make my life better. I know I could still do this, or I got so much more to do, and da-da-da-da. Then you want to cry out to God all of a sudden. But some of y'all, by the time you call out to God, it's too late. It's too late. You don't want to wait until it's too late to cry out to God. If you know that you want to be better, you know that you want to walk through life and you want to be happier, do it now. You deserve to live a happy life. You deserve to be great. You deserve to be whatever you want to be in life. You still got time left. While you have this time left on earth, embrace the time that you have while you're here. Make the best out of the time that you had while you're here. You deserve that. You don't have to be stuck. I got friends who didn't even get to embrace their life the way they wanted to. Like I said, you don't know when your clock is up. I done lost friends left or right. I done had some friends I went to visit in the hospital before. And the last thing they told me was, I wish I could have did this, and I wish I could have did that. Or I wish I could have changed, or I wish I could have did better. And then I don't get to see them again. I've lost friends to the streets who I knew was trying to do better, but they were just trapped in the darkness. They couldn't beat them. They couldn't beat the war. The war is the demons. The war is the fight that they got inside themselves, the dark cloud. They couldn't beat it. It was too late. I have family members that died from sicknesses, all kind of stuff. And before they passed away or even got in the hospital, I knew that they wanted to do better. But they could not outweigh their insecurities. They could not outweigh their own demons or their battle that they had within themselves. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Life is short, especially right now as we speaking in this generation, this time right now. People are dying younger and younger. People are not living. Sometimes people are not living to see 60 no more. Sometimes people are not living to see 50 like they did back in the day. Some people are not living to see 20 sometimes, 30, whatever the age is. Like I said, it's not, you never know when your clock is up. This world is wild right now. It's wild. It's full of sin. So you have to understand that your time is, you on a timer. You're on a timer. You don't know when God gonna call you home. You don't know when he gonna say enough is enough. You don't never know. So while you're here, make the best of your life. It starts now. You have to know that you are good enough. You are strong. If anything is making you feel like you're not strong, fight back. But how do you fight back? It starts with the first step of admittance. You have to be willing to cry out to God. You cannot beat the dark battle by yourself. I'm just being real with you. I used to think that I could beat it. I used to think I was greater. But you see where that got me? Deeper and deeper into the darkness. Deeper and deeper into the slipping away. It took me crying out to God to get myself right. This is what I'm trying to tell you as a living testimony. You cannot beat the battle without God. Cry out to God. Start to get yourself right now. Be willing to trust God and allow him to guide your footsteps so that you can start living a better life while you're here. Because when you leave this earth and your time is up, you want to be able to say that you made the best out of your life. You want to be able to say you did the things that you wanted to do in your life. You do not want to sit there and have your last thoughts about I didn't get to. You don't want that to be your last thought before you cross over into the eternal life. Make the best out of your life right now. Allow God to help you so that if you feel like you're not strong enough, no matter who or what you've been through or whatever you're going through that's making you feel like you're not strong enough, trust God, because God will give you the tools you need to fight back. He'll give you the tools that you need to fight back. He'll give you the strength that you need to be able to believe you are good enough. You are strong enough. You can win that war. You are bigger than that war. But you have to be willing to open up yourself to God to do it. If you don't open up yourself to God, then it isn't going to matter. You're going to stay trapped in the darkness. In the dark cloud, we all know where the darkness comes from. It comes from the devil. Because once the devil get a hold of you, he grabs and he holds on. He holds on real heavily. He holds on until he can't hold on no more. He holds on until there's no soul left in you. That's what he want to do, is continuously drain you. Look at what he did to me all these years. I was lost when I was living the life that I was living at one point. I was really lost. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm being honest. I tell anybody, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I done a lot of things that I'm not proud of. I was doing the devil's work. When I was out here doing crimes and doing what I was doing and living the way I was living, that was because I was caught up in thinking that that was the way of life. I was caught up in thinking that I was helping people, or I thought that I was bigger than who I was. I wasn't doing God's work. I was doing the devil's work. But that's because I was lost. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I was wrong for the things that I was doing. And I almost lost my life behind the things that I was doing. I almost lost myself behind the things that I was doing. Now, in fact, I almost destroyed myself behind the things that I was doing. But God had a bigger plan for me. God always told me when I was going through what I was going through, or living the life that I was living, that he had a bigger plan for me. See, that's the thing about God. He says in the Bible, it says, I will never forsake you. I will never leave your side. See, that's why I say, if you have to be in touch with God. God can tell us different things. God sends us different signs in different kind of ways, even if you're lost. But if you're not in tune with God, if you're not one with God, if you're not putting your trust in God, if you're not talking to God, then it doesn't have no type of effect on you. It doesn't help you at all. Because at that time, like I said, I was lost. God was telling me, son, get out them streets. I got a bigger plan for you. But I didn't want to hear it. I told him I'm going to quit when I'm ready. And I destroyed myself because of that. I was insecure. I was doing different things to get by. And I'm not proud of what I did, but I am found. So what I'm trying to tell you right now is you too can be found. You have to be willing to trust God and let him direct your footsteps. You have to be willing to trust God and allow him to embrace you. You have to be willing to build a relationship with him so that you can become better today. Don't stay lost. Don't stay lost. You don't have to be lost. Because at the end of the day, if you continue to stay lost, then you're never going to be happy. Don't you think you deserve happiness? I'm going to keep asking y'all that while I'm on this live. Don't you think you deserve happiness? Don't you feel like your life is better than what you've been than what you've been giving yourself credit for? You got all these different things that are tearing you down right now in your life, no matter what that situation is. All these different things are tearing you down in life right now. Don't you think that you're strong enough to fight back? Don't you think that you deserve to fight back and be bigger than the situation? Yes. The answer should be yes. And if your answer is not yes, then I'm here to tell you that yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're bigger than what you give yourself credit for. You're bigger than what you think you are. You deserve better. I'm telling you this because I deserve better. If I deserve better, so do you. We are not perfect. God knows we're not perfect. We're always gonna make mistakes in life. But even though you make mistakes, God can continue to put you back on the right path. He can put you back on the right path and help you to continue to walk through and do whatever you need to do to find that happiness. God can help you walk through and take you to the place that you need to help conquer them demons or help conquer where it all started so that you can beat that and you can win that fight so that that fight doesn't determine your life. It doesn't control you. It doesn't make you become this person that you've been. God can help you with that, but you have to be willing to accept him. You have to be willing to trust him. You have to know that you're bigger than that. I'm gonna tell you something, right? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be real with y'all when I say this. I've known too many times, especially when I was younger. I knew growing up that I had issues. You know what I'm saying? I knew growing up that I could have been better. But I refused to accept and believe that I was better than what I was. I kept allowing my circumstances, my surroundings, you know what I'm saying, the people that I associate myself with to allow me to believe that I was just stuck as this person that I shouldn't have been. This unhappy person. See, I was unhappy in a lot of ways. See, a lot of us are unhappy in our life right now, and nobody knows it. because we are trying to be strong. We're trying to be strong, and we know that we're not happy. We know that we're not really stronger than what we are at that moment. But we're walking through and putting on the front. We're acting like we're okay when we're around people, but we're really not okay. See, some people, they could have known you their whole life and don't even know that you're going through a silent battle right now. They don't know that you're hurting more than you. Then get down. Get down before you hurt yourself. Get down. Down. Hold on, y'all. I got my daughter right here. But yeah, like they don't know that you're really going through the type of battle that you're going through, because they can never know from looking at you. That's the thing. People always people ask you, "Oh, how you been? How you doing?" You like, "I'm fine," and they really sit there, sure. They be like, "Okay, that's good," da da da. But they can't look at you and tell that you're fighting a silent battle. They can't look at you and tell that you're really depressed, that you hate the way that your life is. They can't look at you and tell that your mind frame is really different than what you're telling them. Somebody has to really look deep into you to know that. So we walking around, we putting on this front for people, knowing that we're not happy. We're walking around and trying to do these different things to try to put on the shield, to try to make people believe something more than what it is. You don't have to live your life that way. No. I don't care who gets on these lives and who gets off. I'm being honest. You don't have to live your life that way. You're bigger than what you give yourself credit for. You are. You have to know that you got to start somewhere. Like I said, I know I've had people that I've had people in my life that I've known, friends, associates that I've known too many. I've had a couple of people that I known that I thought was okay and they wasn't. I thought that they were okay, and then all of a sudden I get a phone call, they in the hospital. I get a phone call that I done lost them to suicide, all kind of stuff, because they were battling silent demons or battling silent problems that I knew nothing about. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't allow your circumstances in life to swallow you. You have to start somewhere. You have to be willing to be bigger than that demon. You have to be willing to be bigger than that problem. But how can you be bigger than that problem if you do not reach out to God? I can't stress this to y'all enough, and I'm gonna keep stressing it to y'all. You have to reach out to God. You cannot beat the battle by yourself. Let me talk to y'all about darkness. I'm gonna switch the role around a little bit. Let me talk to y'all about darkness. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how this works. I'm gonna tell you exactly what darkness does. The darkness is the trick of the devil. Like I told y'all before in these lives, the devil knows your weaknesses. The devil knows all of your weaknesses. Every little tiny piece of you that's small and weak. Any little signal of weakness, devil knows it. And he feeds off of that. So when he sees a sign of weakness, he attacks. So let me tell you how the darkness starts. He comes with the darkness, okay? He comes with the darkness and he brings it your way. You're so lost in that little area that you're weak in that he starts to use that against you. He starts to make you put these thoughts in your head like, oh, you ain't gonna never be nothing. You ain't gonna never be happy. You ain't gonna never He starts to put all these different thoughts in your head. He starts to play with your mind and make you really believe I'm not happy. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. The devil trying to trick you out your position. And I done told y'all before in these lives, never let the devil trick you out your position. But this is how it starts. You begin to believe whatever he's trying to put in your head based on what you're going through. You don't believe that you know, and when you don't, and then what happens is this cloud, it starts out this small, but then like any other cloud, it gets bigger and bigger. Because here comes the thunderstorm. You know what I'm saying? The thunderstorm. Here comes the thunderstorm. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So then when the thunderstorm comes, it starts to overpower you. Now you got this cloud on your head. But see, here's the thing. The more that the darkness comes, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. You see how the light go off? You go from having a half a light to having no light. Because when the darkness comes, it swallows you. Once you're in the darkness, it destroys you. It manipulates you. It plays with you. It pulls at your soul. It pulls at your body. And it keeps pulling from different angles. It's like your heart and your spirit is like this. Until you don't have one left. And when you stay in that, and once you in that darkness and you stay in the darkness, you get lost to the point that there's no coming back. You don't come back out of that darkness. You're somebody else now. You're no longer yourself. You're no longer happy. You're no longer living your life the way that God wanted you to live it. You're no longer living your life the way that you could have been living it. You're just stuck in this one place. And you don't, that's not the way that you want your life to be. That's why it's important to call out to God. Because even if you're lost and you're in the darkness, God can bring you out of that. God can bring you out of that. You're bigger than what you give yourself credit for. You got to understand that. Like I said, you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Don't never feel like you ain't good enough to live your life a certain way. Don't never feel like you ain't good enough to do things. Don't never feel like you that you whatever somebody try to tell you that you are. You ain't what somebody say you are. You are who you say you are. You gotta understand that, and you gotta be willing to accept that. Live your life for you. Be happier. Trust God. Allow God to come into your life, uplift you, help guide you, help you to be the person that you're supposed to be. Don't stay stuck. Don't wait until it's too late. Because like I told y'all before, the clock is ticking. Tick, tick, tick. I can't stress this to y'all enough. I'm saying it every time I get the chance to get on these lives. You're on the clock. The clock is ticking. And guess what? Everybody who has a clock, every clock has a battery. I don't care if it's your phone. I don't care if it's the clock on the wall. Every clock has a battery, but every battery dies at a certain point. When it comes down to life, this ain't no video game. When it comes down to life, you don't get to redo. This ain't no movie. You don't get to say cut and then redo the scene all over again. No, when your life is over, your life is over. It's over. You don't get a redo. So that's why it's important for you to get yourself right now. This is why it's important for you to understand right now that you are bigger than what you give yourself credit for. That's why it's important right now for you to understand that you are stronger than you think you are, because you want to take the steps that you need to take to be able to overconquer and be able to be more happy in life. You want to take the steps that you need to take to be able to tackle whatever caused you to be the way that you were when you were stuck in that darkness. You want to beat that so that you can live your life happily. You want to beat that so you can do the things that you want to do in life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to move forward. You deserve to be able to do whatever you want in life. But it all starts with God. It all starts with God. It's my wife, the chosen one, Ashley, the chosen one, as you know, the chosen one by Ashley. But you deserve to be able to do that. But you have to want to do that. Don't stay stuck, y'all. Don't stay stuck. And do not wait until it's too late. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. I think right now, I think God is very pleased. God is very pleased right now. I'm getting a chill in my body right now, y'all. Anytime I get a chill or I feel a touch on my shoulder, see, that's the thing. That's why it's important to be in tune with God. Because when you're in tune with God, God talks to you. Even if God can't talk to you, He will give you a sign. When I come on these lives, y'all see me on these lives, y'all know how I do. I only talk until God says He is pleased. And I just felt the chill in my body and I know that chill just came from God. And that's God telling me, you've done enough, son. I'm very pleased with what you've done. Again, I appreciate y'all, those of y'all that tuned into this live, that has came on this live, whether you stayed or you left. I appreciate y'all that tuned in. For those of y'all who didn't get to see this live, go back. It will be posted. Go back and watch this live when it get posted. You know what I'm saying? Give us some likes. If you're not subscribed to my wife's channel, The Chosen One by Ashley, make sure that you subscribe. If you're new to watching this, make sure you go subscribe, like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. I'm conscious. Those of y'all that know me, I'm conscious. Those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. I'll see y'all again. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Have a blessed day.